What if your emotions weren't holding you back, but pointing you towards the you that's been waiting to rise? Underneath the old beliefs, emotional wounds, and people pleasing, you know there's more. More joy, more peace, more of you ready to rise. It's time to step into and claim your penthouse potential. Welcome to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, your transformational coach, corporate wellness facilitator, and nervous system regulator. Let's rise.
Let's rise. I am Sandee Byrd. This is Emotional Elevator on Inspired Choices Network. Why is this happening to me? Seems to be something we say, and we say a lot. Why does this always happen to me? Do you ever hear anyone say that? If it wasn't for my bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Well, that's what tonight's topic is all about. And saying that word, why is this happening to me, comes from a place of judgment. Why? It's almost like we're judging ourselves. Why does this happen to me? So that's what tonight's show topic is. So how often do you find yourself asking, why is this happening to me? Or this always happens to me as a statement? And what emotion shows up when you say it? That question often carries more emotion than we realize. Beneath it can live frustration, fear, sadness, exhaustion, or old disappointment. Emotions shaped by past experiences, ego protection, and long-held false beliefs. In this episode of Emotional Elevator, I will invite you to slow down and notice what's really happening when that question arises, not to judge it or push it away, but to become curious about the feeling underneath the words. And I should have taken out a button and said, and to become curious. When we stay stuck in the question, we often miss what the moment is trying to show us. This conversation is about forcing meaning or bypassing emotion. It's about creating enough awareness to loosen old stories so clarity, perspective, and learning can arrive in their own time. This show is so appropriate for today because today, I don't know when you'll be listening to this or watching me. If you're watching me tonight, you might have been affected by a nationwide Verizon phone disruption and a lot of other AT&T, I think I heard everything. Well, most of my day, my phone was disrupted and I was out and I kept going, well, why is this happening? What's going on? And as soon as I said it, I realized there was a sense of judgment, like I did something wrong. Did I? No. Did I create a satellite disruption or maybe rumor has it could have been cyber. I don't know. I haven't really looked on anything to figure out why. Because why? Why do I need to know? I don't need to know. What I needed to do was become aware as to why it was affecting me. Was there emotions coming up when I couldn't contact family or friends? Everything else was working. It just was, I couldn't make any phone calls. I couldn't receive any phone calls or any text messages. So I just realized I just got to go with the flow because I was out in public and all of a sudden I'm realizing, oh, oh my gosh, I need to check this message because I was meeting someone. And I realized my message wasn't going through, or I was telling them I was going to be late, and the message wasn't going through. And I was like, well, why is this happening? What's going on? That was an old part of me that never felt like I could be late because of my own critic within myself, that someone would judge me if I'm late, or the old false beliefs that if you're late, you might as well not even show up at all. That was something that was said to me. But I realized I was fine. I was safe. I was okay. And I showed up and said, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late. I tried to text, it wouldn't go through, but then I realized, why did I, what was the reason? Like, was she going to be mad at me? No. There was no ill emotions going on between us because I showed up a little late and there was no way for me to contact. Because again, like I said, it was both text messages, receiving and sending, and phone calls. So I couldn't even call. But that's what this is about. Because how many of us, this always happens to me. And when we can become aware when we say these things, what emotion? And maybe because we keep putting it out in this universe, if you believe in quantum physics and the universe plays a part or a role in our life, it becomes a pattern. We now, in our subconscious, set this pattern into play in our lives. I love this now. If you haven't listened to my previous shows, last year I won a vehicle, and I was one of those people that would say, I don't know why I even try to, I don't even know why I buy these lottery tickets or why I do these raffles. I never win anything. Well, I stopped doing that. And now when I hear people all the time putting money in a machine or wanting to buy raffle tickets, I'm just supporting the cause because I know I never win. I'm right away saying, you're right. You're never going to win because you're saying it out there. And why do you feel you're not going to win? Is there a part of you that's stuck in this belief that you're not worthy enough? That you don't value yourself enough to believe that you could win something like that? Because the narrative we speak becomes our reality. How many people out there go to job interviews and go, I know I'm not going to get the job. And then you don't get the job and then you are upset. Well, you spoke what you didn't want. But the problem is we don't see, or I don't want to say problem, but the solution is stop saying things that you don't mean. Or start inviting in an invitation as to, why do I say that? Why do I feel that I am not deserving of that job? Or why do I feel I'm not deserving of winning something? Doesn't matter how big or small. It's the whole point that it's that false narrative. It's that false belief that we have within us that we can't obtain these things. So if you hear somebody out of your ear say, this always happens to me. If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Ask them, what makes you think that? Don't say, why do you think that? Because when you say why, sometimes that makes that judgment more pronounced. But if you say, how? What makes you think that? What makes you think that? Well, because, I've been doing this for so long and nothing changes. What, what would change? What could you change? See, I'm going to throw out that why. That why becomes a place of judgment sometimes. So think about this when you're talking, that when you hear yourself saying things, you're implanting it in your body. And I know I talk on here a lot about the body keeps the score, untraining this subconscious mind, healing inner child, soul regeneration. It's not the right word for it, but get the point. But getting into who you really are will throw out these sayings or these false narratives. See, I'm not saying this because I've never said it before. I'm saying this because I changed what I said and how I said it and why I said it. Because I learned that there was judgment behind it. I learned that there was a false narrative, a false belief behind it. Because I, as I evolved and could take a step back, go, I don't believe that. I genuinely don't believe that if I go for something and if I don't get it, it's not because I have bad luck or I'm not deserving of it or I'm not worthy enough to have it. It just means maybe we didn't connect or maybe something better is coming along. You hear this all the time, or at least I hear this all the time, and maybe because it speaks to me, but I hear, remember, when one door shuts, another one opens. There's truth in that. Because think about that. If you stop saying out loud, why does this happen to me? Or this always happens to me, as in a statement, and you started saying something else positive, you start becoming aware of the different beliefs you believe within yourself. Because I truly believe that we speak existence within ourselves. Because how else would we have self-doubt? How else would we have these beliefs about ourselves that we're not worthy or not valued or undeserving? Probably under the worthy category, but I listen to a lot of my clients talk about, well, I'm not deserving of that. I'm not deserving of that. What makes you think you're not deserving of that? Well, my whole life, it's just been this way. Okay. Well, how can you change it from being just this way? And if you're watching me, I'm just kind of doing a flat line. And it's diving into that. Well, I will always led to believe. You were led to believe sometimes means you don't necessarily believe it within yourself. You were just led to believe that. So think about that. If you were led to believe that, I hear this a lot too from my clients. When you're led to believe something, you can lead yourself to believe something else. You can tap into what you want to believe within yourself. We can all reprogram our minds. Think about it. How many years of school did you go to? You could have gone, well, if you went to kindergarten and through 12th grade, that's 13 years of school. If you went on to college, that could be 17 years of school, 15 years, 17 years, even higher than that. Depending on your life, that could be half of a quarter of your life, where every year you were led to believe something, that there's other planets out there, that there's a God, there's someone who created all of us. You're led to believe this is bad, this is wrong, but you also were led to believe you have the power within you to believe what you want. And that's why this is a big topic. Because why evolved for me in the last year as judgment. Why does this keep happening to me? There's something deep within me that I'm asking when I say why. Why did I say that? What in me is maybe a false narrative, a false belief, a false emotion? Because think about this. If you're one of those people that say, if I didn't have any bad luck, if I didn't have any bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. What comes up for you when you say that? What comes up? That is a question to think about when we go to break. Think about a question that you might say, or even a statement. This always happens to me. What comes up for you? That is a question for our break. And I am Sandee Byrd. I'm the host here on Emotional Elevator on Inspired Choices Network. Who am I? I'm a coach. I'm a corporate coach. I use Legos to help you get deep within yourself where you don't have to use your speaking. You can use your creative side of you. I have classes sometimes that I'm coaching, but right now I have 3 programs that you can go to on my website because, like I always say, connection calls with me are always free. And I'm always willing, if you say you watched me on Emotional Elevator, I'm always willing to give a discount because I know that something rang true to you. And the 3 programs that you can see on my website are Unleashing Your Authentic Self. Do you want to be authentic? I talked about this before. That authentic part of me, I never even liked that word up until 3 years ago because I didn't know who my authentic self was. And I also have a program with coaching, which is Thriving Through Forgiveness. Are you so attached to that victimization that you can't forgive? Because the forgiveness doesn't come for them. It's giving your power back. It's letting go so you can have your power back. And then I also have Finding Your Empowerment Within. Maybe you've done all the work, but now you need to figure out, who am I now in this phase of my life? But again, I am Sandee Byrd, and that's Sandee with 2 E's, Sandee, Byrd, Byrd. It is like the birds, but it's with a Y. SandeeByrd.com. On all social media, Sandee Byrd. But we're going to go to that break. But if you are enjoying this show, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Me, Emotional Elevator, Sandee Byrd. I'll be very grateful, and this will help me to get the word out and the information out to those that need it most. Please share it with somebody you know. Could definitely get some advice from this. But let's go to that break.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Sandee@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Again, I am Sandee Byrd. You're watching or listening to Emotional Elevator. And if you can give me a 5-star review on iTunes, it'll help me get the word out and it'll be very appreciative. Just search Emotional Elevator. But why does this keep happening to me? Is the topic for tonight's show. And that word why comes from a place of judgment. And I talked about become aware of the emotion when you say these type of things, it becomes a pattern. Are you stuck in an old pattern or belief that you are subconsciously creating? If you hear yourself or others say these things, ask, what makes you think that? When you hear yourself say these things, you are implanting them in your body. And I asked everybody a question. If you ever hear yourself saying those things, what's behind it? Because think about this. I always run late. Does that sound like a place of maybe disappointment? Maybe maybe that's just part of who you are. Some of the most intelligent people run late. I'm just saying. And maybe that's because you were criticized as a child. You're always making me late. So now you have an implanted feeling that comes up within you that's holding you back from believing in yourself. I also talked about in the first part of the show is when people always play, and I see them play or do raffles, or I've done a raffle with my business before, and they say, oh, I know I'm not going to win. Where's that coming from? Are you saying that because you feel like you're not deserving of it? Or you're unworthy? We're all worthy of everything in life. That's a false narrative. And it might not even come from you. It might have come from a parent or society. It might not be something you believe within yourself. So think about that. If you go and gamble, however, and you tell yourself, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I do this. That's judgment. Because I know I'm not going to win. Yeah, obviously, because you're making a judgment. You're putting it in this universe, quantum physics, everything you want to believe, the universe, everything out there, you're implanting it. And you're feeling like you're not deserving. You are deserving of it. And it's understanding that when you say things, why does this keep happening to me? Why can't I stop this? Why can't I walk away? Why can't I land that job? Listen to that. Does it sound like it's all coming from a place of judgment? Maybe a place of disappointment because one time you didn't land that job. So now you're believing it within yourself that you're not deserving. And when you say things, what emotion? Be aware enough to find out what that emotion is that's coming up for you. And how can you acknowledge it and then change that narrative? Because that's the biggest part of this. That's the biggest part I love to watch in all my clients is that transformation of, yeah, I'm here because I just feel like I'm stagnant. Well, why do you feel like you're stagnant? Well, because this, or I'm emotionally sensitive, or all these things. Well, where's the judgment coming from? Is it coming from you or others? And as I always like to say, who is the biggest person that critiques you? You. Sometimes nobody knows our doubts or our fears, our insecurities, except for us. Who's the biggest judge? We are. So think about that. Think about who judges you the most. You do. And when you make comments out loud, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. I probably should have named that the title of the show, because that is one of those that I cringe. I cringe. I get emotions about that. Because what is bad luck? Maybe it's an experience you need to evolve from. Maybe it's an experience that's getting your emotion or your inner critic to maybe want to be let loose. And what you might see as bad luck, someone might see as, wow, well, at least this, at least this, at least this. So think about that when you say comments or make notions about, why does this keep happening to me? Number one, that's coming from, I keep mentioning this, from a place of judgment. But what emotion comes up for you? And where did this start? Because it's when you can go back, and that can be part of your soul healing, your inner child, going back in time. There's so many different modalities out there, and I couldn't mention them all, but there's a part of you that has something stuck or stagnant right there that's giving you that, why is this always happening to me? Or this always, or making that statement, this always happens to me. So that is my prompt for you. The next time you hear yourself saying something that sounds like a why, or you're making a statement that's bringing up some negative connotations or maybe judgment, ask yourself, how can I change the narrative? Or what is coming up? What are you feeling in that moment? How can you change what you're feeling? And then you can change the narrative. Because when you can come from a place of gratitude, it can be so profound. It's always seeing the bigger picture, riding down the road and wondering, I'm late. Why am I late? Why is everything running late? And then you go by all those accidents, and then you can have gratitude in your heart to go, I was making a judgment about myself from other people. And in this moment, I was saved by a power greater than me. So again, that is my prompt to you. If you're ever asking yourself why, or making statements about, I don't know why I played this game or do this raffle because I never win. Where's that coming from? What emotion comes up? What false belief, what false narrative are you telling yourself? So again, I am Sandee Byrd. You can reach out to me at sandee@sandeebyrd.com or Sandee Byrd Coach, and that is Sandee, SandeeByrd. I'm on all social media. Come over to my website and get on a connection call. They're always free. Jump into one of my coaching programs. And thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for listening to the Emotional Elevator Show. Sandee returns Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, start elevating your emotions and stop riding the emotional elevator that is stopping you from living the life you deserve.
Good show.
All right.